Alright, welcome back everybody. I would like to introduce you to our very first guest ever on this show. The man that needs no introduction. The superhuman, the superman, the legendary. There will never be any other Jersquall.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It is such a pleasure to have you here, Jersquall. I just want to blow you away with a real weird question right off the bat. I can't figure out how you came up with your name. Could you please settle several bets I have? How did you come up with your name?
Well, thanks a lot for having me. It's great to be here and hang out with you guys. And it's just a pleasure to come on. The introduction was over the top, and it was fun to hear. But thanks. Jersquall. It's part of my name and part Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. Love that game. And character I could definitely get into, as far as all the things he was going through at the time and trying to be the man that he was going to be. I thought that was kind of cool. So kind of stuck with me.
Well, you're most famous for being a home community volunteer. And everybody knows you as Jersquall, the legendary home community volunteer. How did you get started? How did that all happen? Just fill us in a little bit.
It's funny, I keep hearing the word legendary. It's making me laugh. Hanging out in the home forums just about 5 years ago this month and chatting with different people and getting to know them and helping people on the forums. I was noticed by community manager Locust Star, and we started talking. I said, hey, is there anything else I can do? And he said, we do have this new program coming up in a couple months. And I'm like, sounds good, I'm in.
Wow, so it was simple as that. Just posting on the forums. That's really weird because that kind of leads me into my next question. A lot of people that, everybody wants to be an HCV. Locust, I've spent $1 million, I deserve to be an HCV. That's a running joke on home, kind of. Do you really have to post on the forums and get known like you did? I mean, do you have to be, famous already to be an HCV? What's the best way to become an HCV?
Because home was so new at the very beginning, I think they actually reached out to the people who were actually reaching out in the forums. And they contacted us and said, are all the HCVs at the time, and just selected people that we kind of knew offhand. And then came up the idea of having a way of doing an interview online and filling out an application, and that's how they were picked. No special, hey, I know this person who needs to be an HCV, and we weren't ever really allowed to reach out and say, this person should be an HCV, make them an HCV. It was all done on Sony's side, so anybody can be an HCV, and a lot of the people that we have were just selected through the selection process. And we kept some, and got rid of some, and it just worked out really well.
So, when you apply to be an HCV, what are they looking for? I mean, it almost sounds random, but it can't really be random. I mean, what exactly are they looking for? What is the perfect HCV that they want to pick?
It's funny, if you got a chance to actually apply and see some of the questions. It was a more of a let's get the idea of what kind of person this person is. If you read the application. And I was actually the first one to actually run through the application because Class Walls asked me to test it out. I answered with a bunch of bull hockey manure stuff just to see if we'd get a kick out of them, and it did. But just simple fun stuff, getting to know, like, inside their head, kind of, simple questions. What's your most embarrassing moment? Why? Because you can obviously be embarrassed very easily in PlayStation Home.
All right, let me ask you this. The home community volunteers are mainly known for giving the tours of personal places that no one else has yet. Besides giving tours, what does an HCV actually do?
Well, when I was in the program, the main thing was do what you do best. If you like giving tours, give tours. If you want to be out in the field, go out in the field. If you just want to help people directly through the forums, do that too. But everybody had a chance to be involved in doing whatever they do best. It's something that stuck with us throughout the program, and right up to the day that I retired, it was still going in that direction, and even more so in the next couple months. So we'll see how that turns out.
All right, well, let me take this chance to go ahead and squash a couple of myths. HCVs are not Sony employees. They do not get paid, correct?
Absolutely not whatsoever. In fact, it's stated in paperwork that we got to become HCVs, you are not employees, period, flat out.
The reason I point that out is because obviously there's a line. There's people that love HCVs. There's people that hate, HCVs. And I just want to point out to all those people that, do not like the HCVs that these people are volunteering to make your home experience better. I mean, they're not Sony employees. They're not moderators. They can't report you. They can get banned themselves. They don't get paid. And they have to act a certain way to continue being a home community volunteer. In my opinion, speaking for no one else, not speaking for jurors or anybody.
I think the one thing that Glassball's always pointed out to us is be yourself, but be the good citizens that we picked you to be. And obviously the ATVs that have stuck around have been kept for that obvious reason, because they were good citizens in home. So, yeah.
Okay. Last question about HCVs. Would you do it again if you had it to do all over again? Was it a good experience? Do you recommend it?
From the very beginning, the HCVs have gotten a bad rap, and I think a lot of times people actually reach out to the HCVs in a good way or even in negative ways because they had that connection to Sony, and it was a lot of way for other people to actually get their aggressions out, or whatever it was. But as far as the experience goes, from day one to the time that I retired, just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, absolutely. People say, oh, you get all this free stuff. No, we don't. We never get anything hardly free ever. And if we did get something, it was to show off in PlayStation Home. And I can't imagine doing 3.5, 4 years of community service and thinking about the very few things that I got. It wasn't about the items. It was about the people. It was about the program. And it was about helping. That's what we joined for. So I'd absolutely do it again in a heartbeat. It was so much fun.
You hit it right on the head. I think a lot of the jealousy out there of HCVs is they think you get everything for free. And yeah, you get a free personal place every now and then to show off. But you don't get just anything you want and every new item for free, correct?
No, very rarely. In fact, I can count just I have pretty much all the estates, and just a few of them we've gotten from Sony as a way to actually show them to other people on PlayStation Home for tours and other things too. So no, it's not even worth it. If people come in with the idea that you're going to get everything free, boy, you in for a bad disappointment.
All right, I'm going to lead into how you started Home Informer and why you retired from the HCV program.
Which one you want first?
Either one. Well, we were talking about HCVs. Go ahead. Why did you retire? What are your plans? What was that all about?
I I've been doing this for a long, long time. 3.5 years of community service. It's something that I've always done wherever I was. With Game Shark, I was there for 4 years. Final Fantasy, I was there for 4 years. And doing the same thing, helping people, hanging out, having fun. And I was coming to the end of my 4-year cycle, I think. And the HCB is a great, great program. And it's great that actually people want to reach out and help other people. It was just time. I told Glass Walls probably 6-7 months ago that this was going to be my last year. And I was going to try to help them, I was going to finish out the year and do it, but I kept thinking I'd like to take some time off during the summer and think about future stuff.
Future stuff. Before we get into how you started
future stuff. Gotta love future stuff.
Yeah, future stuff. Can you explain maybe? Machinima, filming in your future? Home media partner affiliations maybe?
I like everything that home represents. I love the media aspect of it. Currently I'm with Home Station Magazine, great group over there. As far as Machinima, making videos, I love making videos. I just made a video a couple weeks ago called Super. Had a great time doing that one too. Home Informer, just a great group with you guys. Some of you are actually here in the audience, so really good stuff. Gamer in Depth was a whole different animal.
Speaking of which, a lot of people don't know that you started out in a club called the Nameless Ones. If you don't mind, because, clubs are a big thing here on home. From your Mafia to your Assassin to your clones like, to your clubs like Home Informer and GI. There's a big difference between all the clubs on home. You have the little gang clubs, you have the clubs like, the Homelings. What is your opinion on the clubs on home nowadays? And give us a little insight on your days with the N1s.
Nameless Ones were really cool. Teddy actually helped get us started with that. And Nardi 15 was actually there too. And Nardi had started wanting to put together these meetings, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Okay, let's do this. And Nardi started doing podcasts, and it was on from there. The first home podcasts were N1's podcasts. Those were ours. Something that got other people doing video casts nowadays. If you think about it, it was all the very beginning of what was to come. And we started with the Nameless Ones. I mean, every club's going to have drama, and it was there too with other clubs and everything else. It was, like I said, it was totally different than the FAMs that you have now, or the gangs, and there's some great clubs out there. Great Gamers Club, Home Informer, just all these different really good clubs.
That's
but yeah.
Sorry.
And the Guild.
No, please go ahead. I had to get a plug.
So, yeah, basically, you got your plug. And, yeah, that was it. We started doing that, and we got to a point where I told Nardi, hey, we need to break off here and start a new group. And he's like, what do we name it? And I said, Gamer in Depth. He said, that sounds cool. And started right there.
Wow, you heard it here first, folks. Jersquall, the legendary HCB, named Gamer in Depth. Awesome. Clubs on home that are just starting out.
Well, go ahead.
I didn't mean to give you too much credit there. If I was like, you name Gamer in Depth, woo. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant, that may be something that you guys don't know, that he was that involved with Gamer in Depth. So, I was not speaking for Jersquall. Sorry, Jers.
Oh, it's okay. I was with Gamer in Depth for years and years, and it's a common known story. Nardi's said it, I've said it. It was just we needed a name. We needed to break free of the N1s and start something where we had more control. And that's how it started. And it was a great group. It's still a great group. Good people there. And it was a great experience. So it was definitely worth the trip.
And it kind of leads me into my next question. I mean, almost every member of the N1s is famous now. I mean, you know, as famous as you can be on virtual reality, you know, home. But you have to admit you're famous, and almost every member of the N1s is famous. So this leads me into my next question. What do new clubs do to get on your level? I mean, where should they start? You know, how should they be thinking?
The famous aspect of it, I think of it as more well-known. If you're known widely in the home circles, then you're just mainly well-known. To become famous, I think you have to do good things for home. You have to really work hard, and you have to want to get information to other people that helps other people to enjoy their stay in PlayStation Home. I think if you continue in that path, then you definitely work things out to your advantage. And if that's your goal, it's a great goal, because that's why we're here anyway, helping people to have fun the way we want to have fun in PlayStation Home.
Okay. I have one last question, and then we're going to ask a couple of questions from the audience. Where do you see home in 10 years? Where do you see home in 10 years?
Through your virtual sunglasses? I don't know where home's going to be in 10 years. That's a great question. Hopefully on the PlayStation 4 in a whole new format. Really digging deep into tech and space and the needs of the gamers and those who like community places to go, like PlayStation Home. I'd like to see something where it's very combined. I'd like to see PlayStation Home used in a way that people can actually meet together and game launch from specifically built spaces in PlayStation Home, built from developers of games. Modern Warfare 3, Battlefield 3, have them come in and build their own spaces where we can launch and play and do those kind of things. There's definitely a market here, and Home's definitely set the bar high, and hopefully we'll see more of that in the future.
Jersquall, it has been a pleasure interviewing you. I'd now like to ask the audience to, you know, treat it like a meeting. If anyone has a question, just stand up, and Jers, just pick who you want to talk to, and go from there.
Great. Is that KLC Killer?
It may be. Maybe. Had a question for you.
Go ahead, Killer.
You've obviously, last few years, been juggling a lot of things. Obviously, you were part of the HCV program for a long time. You help with Home Informal. You actually are like the leader of it. How were you able to juggle all that stuff and not become a basement tour?
That's a good question. Nardi had posted something in the thread that Norris Gamer had wrote on the forums, and it just made a lot of sense. I think Nardi said that it was a blessing that I actually left Gamer in Depth and had a chance to focus on the HCB program. It's just something I like to do. If you have a hobby of something, you find the time to juggle things. Home Informers, the HCB program, the forums, home events, your gaming, because obviously KLC is a great gamer herself, and we game together. We play Battlefield 3 together, so you find time. And now I found a lot more time since I've retired. I spent the last 2 weeks watching videos and Netflix and DVDs and Blu-rays and everything else under the sun, so great question.
All right. Anybody else? Pokemon Mew, Steeler Nation? I know you guys got a question. Come on, stand up. Don't be shy. Thank you, KLC. Jers, just take control.
All right.
And whoever you want next.
Yeah, actually, Bradley Davis had a question for me. Bradley_Davis129. He said, "What's your favorite thing about PlayStation Home?" And I've said this before, so it's nothing new, but it's always been about the people. The community actually makes up what PlayStation Home is. If you came in by yourself, this would just be the most boring place ever. And it's great because it has good tech and it has some cool things, but it's always been about the people. All right, question from Pokemon Mew.
Okay, I have two questions, Jers. One about the ATV and one about Salmon Home. My first question is, do you both really have to be actively both on home and the forums, or just one of them, or do you have to be both actively on both home and forums?
You don't really have to be a part of the home general forums. There are forums especially for the ATV, so it's good that you have access to a computer and that you can get onto the forums. But as far as posting, you don't have to post at all really in the home forums if you don't want to. You can do everything away from the forums. Next question.
What is your favorite PS Home event, Jers?
There's so many home events that I can look back on, starting with ninjas and pirates and hammies, hamsters versus humans. I think one of my favorite ones that I had a big hand in, and it was really great, was Alien versus Predators. And for personal reasons, that was like my first real event that I had a lot of control over and had to help make a lot of decisions, and it came out really good, and that was just a real fun event between Sony and Sega and everybody in between and the other HCVs who helped pull it off. It was just really great.
Okay, thanks, Jers.
Not a problem. Steeler Nation 69, he actually asked me, can you describe your most favorite tour that you've given? And there were so many. You get to meet so many cool people along the way giving tours. They hear about you through home, they hear about you through the forums, and they're looking forward to seeing this new estate before everybody else does. And it's just really neat meeting these people. So a lot of them are repeat customers of people that actually come back for other tours. You get to know them, hang out with them, be friends with them. Some you don't see ever in home except for the tours, and that's pretty cool. It just shows, you know what, that you did a pretty good job. You were kind to them, they want to come back, and it's just a good thing. So again, that's about the people.
Alright, well listen, Jersquall, I have really appreciated you being the very first guest on the Assassin's Guild Who's Who of Home. Just to remind you guys, the Assassin's Guild Who's Who of Home is not Glass Walls, Locust Star, although I'm coming for you, Locust. Help me, Jers. It's going to be people like, hey, Buddy 118. You know, anybody know who Buddy 118 is? Well, you will. He is the founder of the Homelings. And that's the kind of shows that we're going to be doing here. I mean, everyone's heard of Glass Walls, everyone's heard of Jers, everyone's heard of, you know, all these other people. We're going to be the people that brings you interviews with people that are doing things on home that are not being recognized. We want to recognize these people because they're all helping you have a better experience on home. Once again, Jers, it has been a pleasure. And everyone that's watching this, thank you, Mew. Okay, that's Life on Home, RC. And everyone that's watching this, be sure to DVR this and archive it, because you have just now seen a legendary interview with one of the very first people that ever started helping you have fun on home. So, put that back like your first issue of Spider-Man.
Thanks, I really appreciate it, and it's great. Keep reaching out to the little guys, because that's where home is. Anybody can hang out with the elite people. Anybody can post 1,000 topics on the home forums and try to get as many kudos as they want and become infamous. But helping the little people and not worrying about fame, it helps. It helps you to become a better person in PlayStation Home. Stay focused and work on the little guys. I mean, help them. They're just as important as anybody else, so keep that in mind.
You heard it here first, guys, from the most legendary HCV ever lived. It's all about the little guys, because we were all little once. You had to grow up, you had to work out to get them biceps, to get famous, to get infamous, to whatever you had to do. Think about where you came from. I'm Ridiculous. Bye.